Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Prismal, and today we're playing Blueprints. Now, this is a drop that's been released on Game Pass. We're going to do a quick look at it because I think this game is actually pretty neat. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into a new game. I'm going to try it out, see what people think as well, and I'm just going to kind of go through it because, yeah, this is kind of something very interesting that I like in general. So let's start.
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
Okay, so that is the opening of everything there. I thought I'd keep quiet for that to kind of like, keep to the tone and usual stuff like that. I may have some frame issues, maybe? That could be on my end, but I do apologize for that in his case. So, this is kind of like the whole set of the game. So let's open this up. So, tier only open in the event of my death. Welcome to Mount... So, Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with much amusement as it did those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could be further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought into the estate from outside. tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate, and you may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and do not rely on successes of the previous day. One final word of advice: do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half century, and even I am uncertain which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads, abandon the path and go where you want to lead. With all my love and wishes, best of luck, Hubert S. Sinclair. So, as you see there, pretty much the basics of everything else. Found a blueprint, which, yeah, as you see, Master's blueprint, this will basically save the map log of all my journeys, and we can see everything here. This will also give us details of rooms and stuff like that. So we can kind of like figure out, we have an inventory also. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one, basically, steps or rooms you can travel to. When you no longer have any of the feet left, you'll be too tired to continue searching the manor, and you must call it a day. Very simple mechanics. Now, as you can see at the moment, in this particular room, we have 3 doors we can go through. And basically, by selecting a door, we can add stuff in. And as you can see down there, I can put the map up, and it shows you how I can build up the map going forwards. Obviously, each room has their own special things. This gives me more rooms to go to. This just locks me out of rooms because I just get a closet. And this is a bedroom, which, as you can see, I can enter to gain 2 steps. Now, there are ways I've already thought about this, that the game allows me to kind of let me semi-break stuff, but have not been able to do that just yet, playing kind of on my own separately. As you see here, we do actually come against a wall because the maps are 5 tiles wide. So by this point, you're thinking, okay, what are the choices? As we've got a pantry, storeroom, and closet. I'm going to take the storeroom. It gives me one of all the things. Gold I can use to buy stuff with later when there are shops. Keys unlock to lock doors, and gems allow me to generate special rooms at the cost of those gems, which can vary. I like the whole atmosphere of it, and the whole puzzle-like, especially with the kind of semi-roguelike elements as well that they've kind of bundled into this. I think it's really unique and entertaining. Let's put a den here, because why not? And just like how like you can end up like building the map up as you walk through it, and it constantly changes. So there is like an overarching goal to kind of find the last room as such. So here we've got a lavatory, which I basically is a dead end room. Red rooms are bad and they kind of have like negative effects. Closet rooms, or blue rooms, just like standard rooms with like particular things. Yellow rooms, kind of like more like rooms that give like extra ways to go around stuff. Here I'm going to pick the closet. 2 items. It could be anything random. Ooh, we get something pretty good. We get an ivory dice, which allows me to re-roll the draft for the floor plans. And a key card. So we can go through electronic doors if they end up appearing as well. Very nice. We're going to show one of the mechanics straight away. Okay. I am going to take... I guess I'll take the nook, get the extra key. Like, either one of those locks me out of what I want, so... Yeah, noteworthy. I see on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. A pad, scrap paper, perhaps most fittingly a journal, to be an invaluable tool to you, and you will not regret having it beside your side on your journey. That's actually to the player. Very advisable to sit there and jot notes down and stuff like that on like what you've got currently active, what's going on, all those cool things. So now I'm in a bit of a predicament because, as you'll see here, if I do something like this and then lock myself out of the rooms, I can't really do much else. So we'll take the drawing room because that'll at least give me some extra rerolls I can use for that. Another note. Drawing room plans. Each time you click on a door, you will draw 3 room floor plans from which you must select one to draft. However, there are some items and rooms that will allow you to redraw if you do not like your initial 3 options. So that's the ivory dice that we picked up, as well as everything, you know, as well as this room will allow us to do it for free. Now, so these are the things where I think, like, in some cases, like, you may want to think about kind of like, do I want to lock myself out of doing other things early or not, right? Because you can really kind of ruin yourself over. I will take the pantry just so I've got, like, an extra way to go through stuff. And we'll pick this up. Over here. Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we have been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, I think. An even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should be cover expenses, but please bring any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. So that's telling me 5 apples exist, 5 bananas exist, 5 orange exists within the house overall. And they'll give me some extra steps when I need them. Ooh. So yeah, corridor. It's always left unlocked, regardless what it is. Spare room is just a spare room. And I got a courtyard, which is actually something I could put down. It's gem requirement 1 is the issue, which that means I have no more gems, so we might just put in a spare room. I'm putting the spare room in now because as you get later through them, as you can see on the bottom right, you get rank 2 rooms and rank 3 and rank 4. And the higher they are, the more likely we'll have locked doors and stuff. So it's something to watch out for. A patio. Spread gems in each green room. I don't have any gems already, so we'll just go for the parlor. This is a puzzle room. Which this is probably the most simple of the puzzles. You have here, this box is the white box. This box is the black box. And the blue box contains the gems. And if we go over here, we have a key. Which means I'm not one of those. And dear Hubert, or Herbert. Sorry? It was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine with your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it has been quite a while since we have been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my own company is a rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of the evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I mentioned that a rather singular parlor game that I played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colours. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time. I have included this letter with all details you will need to share with guests should you incline to play at this confounded game. Always your friend, Emma Lowley. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least 1 box that contains only false statements, and only 1 box has the prize within. The other 2 are always empty. So basically, it's figuring out what statements are true and what statements are false, and then following the true statement in most cases. So in this case, that is black box wrong, that is a white box, that is wrong. This must then be the right one, because we've got 2 false, can't have 3 false. The blue box contains the gems, so we go over to the blue box, and then we do that. And in theory, if my logic is not flawed, we get 2 gems. Look at that. I'm smart. Okay, so what we got here. So this is what I mean by red ones sometimes having random stuff. So I could select the chapel now. Issue with that is if I want to backtrack at any point, I'm going to lose gold by going into it, which is something to watch out for. I could do a corridor, which would just mean I can move forward, which is pretty much the same as the chapel. I just don't have downside of losing gold, and a secret passage which would cut me off and make me lose, well, not lose, but make me have to kind of end the day early. So we'll go with the chapel, because the chapel is a bad room. I don't plan to backtrack that far considering what we've got. As I've generated that, what I am going to do is backtrack, lose some steps instead to generate this room this side, right? Which is actually pretty good. So we're going to do this one rather than this one, because if I do generate these, we'll go into it. Now, every time I generate a bedroom, we will get more. And children's storybook, The Red Prince by Marin Marigold. There was a red prince who sat on a throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had love for all things red. It's the only true colour, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. He never looked up for the fear of the view, and he had heard the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds were around. And you know which book the prince always had, the one that made him happy whenever he was sad. A story he had read in the bath in the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues we have said. It was the story of a boy who also wore red and looked like our prince from his toes to his head. As you read, my reader, might assume, this book is quite near you, in fact in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a prince and his book, the red book we just read. I love those sort of things. Like small little nursery rhymes like that with the whole kind of thing, I think is so good. And the fact they spent the time to sit there and do this sort of stuff is just, yeah, it's brilliant. But yeah. That's right, we're doing nursery rhymes today, folks. Yeah, that means if I get any bedrooms and stuff, we'll generate those. So I lose one gold by walking into this room. That is repeatable, so it'll happen every time we do it. That is blocked up because the map, as you can see here, doesn't allow me to go into this room. So that's what happens if you put rooms together. So there's no sort of like fixed layout and stuff. Okay. Now here, I want to go for the passageway. It's very expensive, but it does give me 2 extra options, although blocks one off, which is a bit disappointing, but we will go for that. So that's blocked off. We've got 2 choices. Now we can either try and go deeper, which we will do first, because we do have rerolls and things like that. Now we've got a boudoir or a bedroom. And then we've got the observatory, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to get the bedroom, because that will also give me 5 steps, and the 2 steps of walking into it, so I can generate more steps every time we generate them. Greetings from Reddington. Thank you very much. Anything else I need to pick up around here? I think it's always the main thing is to be on the lookout for cool stuff, right? We've got a rumpus room, we have a courtyard, and a lavatory. I think it's fine to kind of put the courtyard down here rather than go for the rumpus room, because that we can go up if we need to, and we can also go back on ourselves. So, and here we are. We have an item. So these are all scattered about particular things. We have a shovel, so I can pick that up. And now, if I find these spots, I can dig. We get some coins from that one. Cool. And a turnip, which gives me a snack for some other things. So that's the thing that wasn't labelled when we did the other thing, when it was in the pantry. We're going to generate this one by going back. Now, because we got the option for doing it backwards, we can put the security if we had another gem, which we don't. We do just plain corridor, but doesn't link to anything, and a bedroom, which also doesn't link to anything. Now, I could redraw here, but it doesn't actually affect anything for me going forward, so I'm just going to generate this. We get a gem from this room. Now, letter to read. Sinclair just wants to write a quick note thanking you for the weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evesham, where particular personality somewhat made up for your own absence. I also got to appreciate your new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen a billiard room in a house. I was beginning to suspect you retired the floor. retard the floor plan. It was well worth the wait though, as I always enjoyed your mathematical puzzles, and I appreciate that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hope your health improves shortly. I assume that's KL. But yeah, so like all this stuff kind of like leads you to like what's going on and like other things around the house that you can then solve, go through, do other things. So both those would ruin me. I can't generate those. I must go for the security, which I can generate. So that's what we'll do. And we have to select when we have to kind of be chosen to pick. So we'll pick the security one. Let's walk in. There we go, security room. That little cinematic right there, I would say this for the developers, has really told me that if you made this game a horror game and kind of like had the whole murder mystery and all that stuff thrown into it, you would make such a really cool game that I would play, and I would probably brick myself playing it. But yeah, it is well worth. So, you have a notice board that can always appear on things as well. So, still further notice, the antechamber has been unlocked and access levels are no longer required to grant entry. Interesting. Key can't access security doors are more likely to appear the higher ranks of the estate. Likewise, as a redundant security measure, normal doors in the estate will also be more likely to be locked as you progress further north. Interesting. Staff notice. Effective the first week of December, payroll for all live out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically, as your attendance will no longer be registered at the morning roll call. It is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. 2 of these terminals can be found at security, where you can punch clock, where the punch clock used to be, and the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to the house manager, Miss Babbage. And the terminal password, which we could probably make out on there, but it's not part of the whole thing. We know it's an S, and then there's some other words behind it. Eagle-eyed viewers will probably be able to figure that out. I already know what it is, but we're going to ignore it for now until we pick up a particular item to kind of manage that. Yes, go to the computer. I'm going to Mount Holly Security. We can view the estate's inventory, so this will tell me at the moment it's if anything generated in particular rooms, but not rooms what they're generated in. You can look at the keycard system, in which is always a good idea to do. We already have a keycard for this one, so we don't actually need to worry about it, but we can set it to be medium to lower the amount of security doors that get generated. But because we've already got the security card, and we know that we're going to have high level locked doors, setting to high is a better idea. Would you believe that? And then the offline bit is to set it to be unlocked. Now that's part of high level strategy for you guys. Yes, I can do high level strategy. Then we can then log into the network. We don't know the password, so we can't log in. And yeah. Let's go to the right first, the left first. We've got a boudoir we can generate, and a kitchen we can't use, and a corridor. As we've got nothing else, I'm going to probably just use the boudoir here. There's another bedroom, so the nursery kicks in. Let's go to the other side and see what we can generate this side. See, this is where we'd have to use the key. So we'll exit for now. Don't want to use the key if I don't have to. Into the boudoir. And we can have a look around. Oh, look, Christmas. And as your eagle-eye viewers, this is probably also showing you the boudoir during Christmas time. And there is a safe there. So everything in the room is still roughly here. So where is the safe? And there we go. There is the safe. Can interact with it. I do not know the password. I'll have to figure that out. But this is kind of like why I like this game. It's like all the puzzle pieces are all scattered everywhere, and it's such a really good puzzle game that keeps you interacted. Okay. So I could put the closet and go that way. Dining room is just for free, which gives me an extra 2 bits, or we can go for the locksmith, which allows me to buy keys if required. We're going to go for the dining room here. We can go straight ahead, and then go left if we need to. Can't do anything else. Can't pick anything up. Is there anything on the sides and tables and stuff? Locked door. So that's the first locked door we've got there. And we've got a locked door there. So this is kind of the point of where you have to make decisions and stuff. We're going to use the key here. Try and go forwards. We've got a billiard room. We've got the commissary. And we've got a wine cellar, which we could put in as well. I'd rather get the billiard room, to be honest, because I keep going forwards. But the issue with that is then I have to go left, then back up, and I may not have any rooms to go back up. Commissary we can't get. And the wine cellar does give me 3 rubies, which will give me more choices, which is a good idea to have. And, you know, it's gone into a dining room, so I think having a wine cellar next to the dining room is a very good idea in floor planning. Anything else in here that we need to look at? Oh, cool. Carry on. You only got 1 key left, so I'm going to use it up here as well. Technically, I should use it back because I'm more likely to have other stuff go on. We have a kitchen we could generate, which will take me backwards, which I don't really want. The gymnasium, which will make you lose extra steps, but it's probably the best choice I've got. Or a bunk room, which could give me double stuff, but then I can't use anything else. So in we go. We lose 2, but pair of running shoes occasionally save feet when traveling longer distances across the estate and grounds. I thought I could trick the game with this, but I can't. At one point, I already have a key card, so what are we generating here? Made less likely to find items right now in the house. Maid's closet doesn't really do much because it just goes back to the boudoir. Walk-in closet does give me 4 other items, so we'll pick that up. Maybe get a key or something. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. 2 more ivory dice. That is very nice. And we have a safe deposit box key. But yeah, it's basically all about finding the stuff and trying to generate all the things for the rooms and things. It's just like really good. It's locked. I don't have a key. So, I think that is it for this particular run, unfortunately. I can't buy any keys. I think we're all put up. And yeah, that is kind of disappointing. We got quite far the way through. Too bad. So at that point then, we end day. Found all this stuff, but we have to basically leave it. We can't unlock anything else. Nothing else we can do. Just double checking the map puzzles. Yep. Okay. We'll call it a day. Yep. Nothing else I can do. Have to reset the rooms and then we go again. And that's kind of like the whole premise of like this part of the game, right? Mount Holly, medium-sized villa, total 23 rooms, rank reached 7, steps taken 34, items found 6, and gives me my nice floor plan that I was managed to generate as we camp outside. Yeah, and then you can save and continue, because it just makes you save every day just to make sure you don't, you know, scam the game. And then day 2. Then we get to do it all over again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it here. I think it's really introduced the game and kind of given a good idea. There are loads of other secrets and things, and you can even go outside that can go on. And I think it's a brilliant idea of kind of like how this has been generated and the idea and the gameplay loop and kind of what's gone on. It's really taken some really ingenious ideas from like other places and kind of come up with a completely idea on its own. Yeah, like the idea of generating rooms to go through them is not unheard of, especially in board game territory, but playing it like this in this particular way with a whole mystery behind it is really kind of cool. And I kind of wanted to highlight this as like a bit of a quick look, and if people are interested in this sort of game, I might end up doing, you know, a stream with it or something. I wouldn't say too good at the time. I said I've been busy recently. That's kind of my own fault, but yeah. Again, so if you do enjoy these videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.